Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Analyzing CS2 Sticker Collections and Capsules. Today we are going to be covering the 2025 Community Stickers collection added to the Armory not too long ago in October. This is a pretty unpopular collection, but the reason I want to look at it is, Valve historically has removed the least popular collections from the Armory before the oldest collection. So I think even though this is a fresh one, it might be removed, in the near future, probably not, April, but maybe next October. So let's take a look at these stickers and see how they're performing. What I'll be covering in this video is the total applications collected from CS Float, the average sticker per weapon, the current offers, which is a little different than in the past. I was looking at the Steam offers. I decided to look at the entire global offers, so that's going to help our bottom line estimate be a little bit more accurate. We're going to look at our average Steam price for the last 3 days. This was all compiled on 11/26, so already a couple days old, but price data is always going to be fluctuating. And then we're going to look at the rank of the stickers in terms of their applications and their price, and to see if there's any differences between price and applications. And then also I have something I call the magic ratio, which is really just the price divided by the applications and then adjusted for rarity for that individual stickers category. So without further ado, I wanted to go ahead and thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. I went ahead and hosted my live giveaway in the Discord channel. I'll link the Discord channel down below, but thank you guys so much for the support. This has been awesome. You guys boosted me up to 1,000 subscribers in like less than 10 videos, so I'm really enjoying the fact that you guys have been consuming this content and actually using it and having good discussions with me in the Discord. But without further ado, this video is going to be kind of long because I am going to be going through each of the stickers individually and kind of doing a new visual style as well. So please let me know in the comments what you guys think of the new visual style. But yeah, I'll probably do another giveaway at around 2,500 subscribers, so please be on the lookout for that. I'll do consistent announcements in my Discord. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if any of this data helped you. And I wish you the best of luck. God bless, guys. Thanks.
It's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Bulky just in time. It's happening right now. We're spinning.
Oh shit.
And the winner is... Oh. Sick Beats. He's in the channel.
That's crazy.
He's here.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Everyone give golf claps to Sick Beats. Congratulations. Alright guys, so our first sticker is our worst sticker. This is the Fade Mangoes paper. Working from the bottom left to the top right, we're going to take a look at its multiple crafts. It's pretty much, near the bottom, almost 11th or 12th on most of our 5x, 4x, 3x through the rest. It actually has a decent average applications per weapon though at 1.37. That's 4th and out of our first 12. Magic ratio is at a 0.849. Difference is a -2, so a lot of things are tied at this kind of price rank. So this is technically tied for 10th, 10th most expensive, and it is our least applied at only 4,700 applications. Not much to be said about this sticker, guys. It's orange and it's paper. I really couldn't find a whole lot of interesting crafts with this sticker, so I think I don't know if this one is going to be great long term. Alright, next up is number 11, Skelly Stabby, another paper. Pretty much solo 12th, solo 11th on most of our multiple applications. Actually decent average applications though, 1.34, it's above average in 5th, 1.406 on the magic ratio, but this is -8 on our difference. That's just because it's tied for 3rd at 7 cents, and it is our second least applied sticker with only 4,900 applications, right there at 5,000, probably 5,000 at the time of making this video. But yeah guys, couldn't find too many crafts with anything special on this. I don't think there's a whole lot of intrinsic sticker demand for the Skelly Stabby sticker, so I would maybe avoid it, unless you think that it's a sleeper. Alright, next at 10th is the Mimicapsule. Again, this is pretty much bottom of the line for all of our multiple applications. No one's really applying these, more than once per average. Its average applications per weapon are tied for 8th at 1.29, pretty low. Magic ratio at 0.894. -3 difference because it is tied for 7th at 5 cents, and it is our 10th least applied, only at 5,600 applications. Again guys, pretty specific sticker, pretty niche. I don't see a whole lot of cool crafts with a Mimicapsule. Maybe something to do with the tongue, I don't know, but it's just not a super attractive, super useful sticker for multiple types of crafts. If you believe in the Mimicapsule, go for it, but I'm going to avoid it. Alright, and next up is number 9, Candy Apples. This pairs with our Fade Mangoes. Notably, it's actually tied second for the most 5X applications out of all the blues at 122. It's also doing well in the 4X and 2X categories and 3X. And it has our third best out of the blues average applications per weapon at 1.41. Still kind of middle, but actually decent. Magic ratio is at a nice 0.588. And we do have a difference between our price and application ranks. It is tied 10th at 4 cents, but it's actually our 9th most applied at 6,800 applications. So the problem with the blues is that they have a big supply problem to overcome. And, you know, these aren't super intrinsically demanding. You know, it is good to see that there are a lot of people that are applying multiple of these, you know, 5Xs, 4Xs. But I don't know if that's going to be enough of an argument for me to invest in candy apples. But, you know, they're 4 cents. If you want to throw a couple bucks at them, why not? All right, and number 8 is Pop Pup. It's actually pretty average, 7th through 9th place on all of our multiple applications. It's tied 8th for our 1.29 average applications per weapon, 0.826 on the magic ratio, and a difference of -2 between its price and applications. We can see that it is solo 6th at 6 cents, and it is solo 8th at 7,200 applications. Decent applications for what I believe to be a very niche sticker. Maybe it's just because it's a cute puppy. I think that just looking at it, it is a 8th place sticker through and through. I don't think a whole lot of people are really interested in the sticker, and neither am I. Alright, and number 7 is the Cubix Connexion. This is a middle tier, multiple applications from 6th through 9th. It's actually our 11th, so second to last average applications per weapon. Magic ratio is at a 0.953, and because of all these closely priced stickers, this is at a -4 difference, being tied for the third most expensive sticker at 7 cents. And our 7th least supplied sticker at 7,300 applications. Couldn't find too many cool crafts with this sticker. I think it's mainly just the colorway of the sticker that people are enjoying. Its abstract nature, I don't really think people are that attracted to this sticker, so I'm personally going to avoid it. Number 6, we have Pots. This is actually a pretty hopeful sticker, I believe. You know, obviously it's an upside down stop sign, but you can just turn this right side up to make it truly just a stop sign. It is tied second for our 5x applications and also solo second for our 4x and 3x applications. It is solo second as well for our average applications per weapon at 1.46. So a lot of people are applying many of these when they craft this. It's got a magic ratio of 0.669, a +1 difference because it is tied 7th at 5 cents, and it is solo 6th at 7,400 applications. I think this one's pretty good because it does have some intrinsic design application demand with it just being a stop sign. You could be stop blank, whatever you want to put, you know, after the stop sign. I think people will do that. This might be one to look into going forward just because it does have a little bit of intrinsic design demand, I believe. Number 5, we have Lock In. I honestly don't really know why this one is a number 5, but it does have good applications for both 5x, 4x, 3x, and 1x. Its average applications per weapon is 1.33, which is a little below average at 6th, but the magic ratio says that it's pretty good price at 0.596. And has a +2 difference because it is tied 7th at 5 cents, and it is our 5th most applied sticker at 8,400. I don't really know what the big deal about the sticker is. I couldn't find any cool crafts when browsing briefly. Maybe it's just the colorway of it being multicolored, it being kind of bright, but if you guys can figure it out and can find why this has such intrinsic demand, then let me know. But because I can't really make a good argument for this sticker, I'm not going to advocate for investing into it. Alright, finally, something pretty interesting, guys. The number 4 sticker is the Gloves On. This one is actually a bit of a sleeper statistically. It is our number 1 in 5x, 4x, and 3x applications, second in our 2x, and it's also our best average applications per weapon for the blues at 1.55. It's first. Its magic ratio is 0.455. Its difference is +6 because it is tied 10th at 4 cents, and it is our 4th most applied sticker at 8,800 applications. I think the demand with this one, guys, is it's simple. It's a big yellow square. It looks good with a lot of yellow accented skins, as you can see on screen. It's really good at blocking out a big area and just turning it yellow. I think this one is kind of a sleeper. You know, obviously, the supply is going to be massive. It's very cheap. If you wanted to get a lot of these, it'd clog up your inventory pretty quickly. But something interesting, finally. Something that the stats kind of show that we didn't already know. So, yeah, Gloves On, I think it's a bit of a sleeper pick. Am I investing in them right now? Not currently, but if you wanted to pick some up, I think the entry price is pretty attractive at 4 cents. And it seems that the application demand is there. So, take a look at it and make your decision. Alright, next is number 3, the Vice Cursor sticker. I think this sticker is actually a little bit overrated. As you can see on the 5x, 4x, and 3x, it's actually kind of low. at 6th or 7th. Yo! But it is first on our 2Xs. It's got 1,062 2Xs. That's pretty good. And as we can see, it's also pretty high up on our 1X crafts, and that's reflected in the average applications per weapon being pretty low at a 1.29, tied for 8th. Its magic ratio is 2.051. Its difference is a -1 because it is second most expensive sticker in this blue collection at 20 cents and our third most applied sticker at 9,700 applications. I'm a little torn on this sticker. It's obviously got some hype going for it because it is, you know, Vice Gloves, but application-wise, it's such a small sticker, and I couldn't really find too many, like, interesting crafts. It was really just the sticker placed on the weapon. I just struggle to see where the intrinsic demand was for this skin besides it being Vice. If it was any other glove, I don't think this sticker would really be talked about in many conversations. So yeah, I think it's a little bit overrated. Alright, number 2 is Sent With Love. This sticker is a little underperforming in our 5X, 4X, 3X, and 2X, but it is decently applied at the 1X. Shown in our average applications per weapon, it's pretty low at 1.32, solo 7th. Our magic ratio, though, is not bad at 0.687, and our difference is +1 because this is tied for third most expensive sticker at 7 cents, but its total applications are 10,188, which is a couple hundred applications more than number 3. I believe the intrinsic desire for this sticker is that when it scrapes, it kind of just turns into a suspicious looking white stain, let's say, but a lot of people are just kind of using it where bullets would reasonably come out of, or because it has that nice bright cyan color. I don't think there's any like hidden cool stats about this sticker revealed in our stats, so I'm not thrilled about this sticker, but it does have some intrinsic demand with that kind of suspect aspect about it. Alright, and our last sticker for the blue category is the Eyes of Farlow. This is a pretty underperforming sticker, honestly. It is definitely a 1X sticker. As you can see, it is our most 1X applied and then pretty low on everything else. That's also reflected in our average applications per weapon at 1.21 average. It is our lowest for the entire blue category. It's got a magic ratio of 1.98. And because it is the most expensive in this category at 23 cents and the most applied at 11,500 applications, there is no difference in the price, rank, and application rank. So why is this sticker applied so often? I don't know. I think it's got pretty good colorway for the green and purple, but I think it just has to do with kind of the suggestive nature of the sticker. It's kind of a interesting eye emotion that is expressed by Farlow in this sticker. And it certainly could be used in many Ahiago crafts. If you know, you know. But when it scrapes, it also scrapes pretty well to be somewhat of like a character craft sticker, where it's just the eyes and not so much the colors around it. So I think that there is some demand for the sticker, but it's definitely not for it being applied more than once per skin. It's definitely a 1X kind of sticker. That means it's going to take a little bit for the supply to be eaten away, but I do, you know, the proof is on the paper that this is the most applied sticker from the blue category. So a bit of an interesting number 1 for Eyes of Farlow before we shift over to the purple stickers. Alright, and as we move into the purple categories, our first and worst sticker is the Evidence Holo. Kind of a surprising bad pick because it is a pretty cool looking sticker on paper with a pretty interesting holo effect, but it is not supported by its application information, being pretty much dead last in all of our applications. It does have a 1.4 average applications per weapon, which is kind of not great for the purples at 6th place. Its magic ratio is 13. Its difference is -5 because it is the third most expensive sticker at 99 cents, and it is the least applied purple at about 2,100 applications. So, you know, it's just overpriced and / underapplied. No one's really applying this. It's kind of a sticker that's far too small to see. It's a very subtle holo effect. While being a cool colorway, it's very subtle. So I think this sticker needs to be price adjusted before you consider investing into it because it's just not backed by good application information. Alright, and coming in at number 7 for the purples is the Overloaded Glitter. Yeah, kind of coming in at the back of the pack. It's 7th, 8th on all of our applications. It's dead last on our average applications at 1.35. Magic ratio is at a 2.23. The difference is a +1 though because this is the cheapest purple at 20 cents, and it is the 7th most applied at about 2,500 applications. Not too much of the sticker. It's got that ugly guy in the front, but when you scrape it away, it actually just leaves that kind of pretty blue glitter effect. Kind of looks like the case hardened color, kind of looks like the Titan Holo color, but there are better options for both of those faux crafts, so I don't think there's a whole lot of interest in the Overloaded Glitter. It's obviously very low on our application demand, but it is cheap at 20 cents, so I don't think that'll overcome though how little demand there is for this sticker. All right, number 6 for the purple stickers is the Bomb Planted Holo. This one is pretty run-of-the-mill, average 6th through 8th applications. It does have decent 1x applications. It's the 5th most. But it is below average on our average applications per weapon. 7th place at a 1.37. Magic ratios at a 3.914. Our difference is a -1 because this is the 5th most expensive at 38 cents and the 6th most applied at around 2,700 applications. I think the only thing going for this sticker is that the holo effect does look pretty similar to like a case hardened. It does look good on a lot of blue skins, and it has a pretty colorful holo spectrum. But besides people trying to cover up their gold spots on case hardened skins and just put this on random blue skins, I don't think there's a whole lot of intrinsic demand. Most of the multiple crafts I saw were just leaving the sticker as itself, which is still pretty niche with those big white eyeballs on it. It kind of interrupts the whole colorway. But yeah, this is just a run-of-the-mill 6th place. I'm not too interested in this sticker. Alright, next for the purple category is the T-Trax Glitter. This one actually has some interesting data about it. It is the 2nd most 5x applied sticker in the purple category, which is substantial with 121 5x's. Everything else is around average between 4th and 6th place. But we do have a pretty solid 1.68 average applications per weapon, which is 4th in this category. Pretty solid, and then the magic ratio is 2.247. It has a +2 difference because it is the 2nd cheapest at 26 cents and the 5th most applied at 3,200 applications. There's some pretty good fundamentals that this sticker has, I believe. You know, it being a bright orange sticker is pretty rare. It has glitter effect that looks pretty good. It can be morphed together to look like hearts. It can be spread about to just be orange. You can scrape it away to just reveal that, you know, terrorist mask. There's a lot going for the sticker, I think. I do believe that its brother, the CT-Trax, which we'll talk about later, is a little bit better on fundamentals, but I think that this is kind of a good sleeper pick for how cheap it is right now. But yeah, this sticker has some interesting fundamentals, so I'm intrigued to see where this goes going forward. Alright, and number 4 is Chrome Dome. This was pretty much the most hyped sticker upon the release of the 2025 community stickers. As you can see, that's reflected in its price. It is the most expensive at about $5 on Steam. But the application data says that this is actually number 4. Pretty much through and through all the way, except for the 4Xs. This is 4th place. But this is 3rd place on our average applications per weapon at a very healthy 1.69. That's pretty good, guys. So there is application demand here. It just might be a little bit overpriced. Its magic ratio is almost 39. Its difference is -3 because it is the most expensive and it is the 4th most applied at about 3,500. I think that this has pretty good fundamentals as a sticker. It's obviously very well liked by the community. That's reflected in its price. And, you know, you could argue that because it's so expensive, it doesn't have as many applications as if it were to be a cheaper sticker. And I would agree with that take. I think that you certainly could invest in this at this point, but it is a little steep at $5, especially for something this early that might be redeemed a lot going forward. So, but on paper, this is a pretty good community favorite, so that might influence your decisions. Alright, next up is number 3, CT-Trax Glitter. I think that this one's actually going to be pretty shocking to a lot of you guys watching. So, as you can see, on paper, this is the most applied 5x, most applied 4x, 2nd in our 3rd and 2x's, and 3rd in our 1x. It has the best average applications per weapon in the purple category at 2.04, that is 1st. Its magic ratio is 1.489. And it has a +3 difference because it's actually our 6th least expensive at 31 cents and our 3rd most applied at 5,700 applications. Guys, I think this one has a lot of intrinsic demand, as you can see. A lot of people are applying a lot of these to cover a big area of their items to kind of cover it in that blue glitter effect that, again, kind of like the overloaded glitter reflects that sort of case hardened / Titan, you know, it's just a very well-liked color, this blue glitter. It looks good on the Glock Axia. I saw a ton of Glock Axias because they kind of already have that same glitter effect on them. So yeah, I think this is a pretty slept on sticker. I think this is a pretty good price to get in a position on these, especially considering the lack of popularity in this collection overall. This could be one of those ones that kind of outlasts the rest of these very mediocre stickers. So I like this sticker a lot. I'm probably going to make a position in the sticker after the video is released. Alright, and number 2 is the Cutie Holo. And as you can see right off the bat, that this is a pretty solid 3rd through 2nd place in all of our different applications. It does have a little bit of technically a below average application per weapon for this category of stickers, but it's still at a healthy 1.55. That places it in 4th place. Its magic ratio is 4.079, and it has a positive 2 difference because it is 4th place in terms of price at 90 cents, and obviously 2nd place at around 6,100 applications. I think that the Cutie sticker is very much bolstered by its pretty nice, simple holo effect. It's a really good transition from pink to orange to yellow. It's a big typeface. It covers a lot of area when placed, and it scrapes away really well to kind of get rid of that border too. So I think that this has a lot of application demand on a ton of different pink skins. So I see this one doing quite well over time. But yeah, it's a pretty solid number 2 sticker at a pretty decent price point. It might be a good one to look at for an investment going forward. Alright, and number 1 for the purple category is the Froggles Holo. Who saw this one coming? Pretty much all of us did. So recently this sticker got hyped because when you scrape it away and place 3 of them in a certain configuration, it looks pretty similar to a very budget-friendly Titan Holo. Most people are not applying this and leaving it as is. I couldn't find too many crafts where the sticker was just left as is. This is pretty much entirely just for this budget Titan Holo. So as we can see, it's 3x, 2x, and 1x are all first place, and then the 4th and 5th, not really people were doing that. It is 2nd on our average applications per weapon at a very healthy 1.87, magic ratio 2.998. It has a positive 1 difference still because it is not the most expensive. It's the 2nd most expensive behind the Chrome Dome by a lot at $1.17, and it is our most applied at almost 11,000 applications. So guys, unless there's an even better budget Titan Holo sticker going forward that can emulate it any closer than this, I don't see the Froggles losing any demand going forward because, you know, everyone's always going to want some cheap Titan Holo mimic on their gun. So I think that this one's pretty safe. I see this doing quite well over time just simply because it has such a cool use case for this Titan Holo. Alright, and as we move into the pink category, the foils, we can see that our first and worst is number 6, Eyes in the Sky. This has some interesting data about it, but it is obviously a pretty below average sticker. It is 3rd in our 5x, 4x, and 3x crafts, but it is dead last in our 2x and 1x crafts. So because of that, it has a pretty decent average applications per weapon at a 1.52, placing it in 3rd. Its magic ratio is 20.591, and it has a negative 3 difference because it is the 3rd most expensive at $2.53, and our least supplied at right at 900 applications. So not a whole lot to say about this one, guys. I don't think it's a very impressive sticker. I don't think many people are going to be applying this going forward, and I definitely think there are better choices to place your money in, especially considering that this is a little bit overpriced as is. Alright, and number 5 is Queen Ava foil. These playing card stickers are pretty boring. The Queen Ava is the least applied of the two, being pretty much 6th place on most of these things. It's 6th place as well in our average applications per weapon at a very bad 1.28. Its magic ratio is 13.326, and it has a negative 1 difference because it is the 4th most expensive at $1.77, and it is our 2nd least applied at 974 applications. These playing card stickers, guys, they're really boring. They're usually applied together, the Queen Ava and the to-be-mentioned King Crasswater. They're applied together because, you know, they're 2 of a kind of thing. So they kind of have intrinsic demand with each other, but obviously the demand for both of them is very low, as we'll come to see when talking about King Crasswater as well. And in the same breath, we can talk about number 4, the King Crasswater foil. As you can see by the application numbers, it is pretty low on demand too, but notably it is 3rd place on our 2Xs. It has an average applications per weapon of 1.34, still pretty bad, and 4th place, a magic ratio of 10.080, and a positive 1 difference as it is the 2nd cheapest sticker in this category at $1.42, and it is our 4th most applied at 1,000 applications. So again, guys, this one probably has more demand than the Queen Ava foil. It is applied pretty much identically with the Queen Ava, so in the same breath, as I said before, this is a pretty low interest, low demand sticker in my opinion. So I'm not going to be giving it much more mind as an investment pick going forward. Alright, and our number 3 for the foil category is the Hands Off. Initially I thought this would be a pretty good sticker, and on paper it is doing pretty well. It is 2nd on our 2x, 3x, and 4x crafts, and then 3rd on our 1x and 5x. It has a pretty healthy 1.59 average applications per weapon, which places it 2nd, which is pretty good. Magic ratio is at a 20.187, and it has a negative 1 difference because it is the 2nd most expensive at $3.50, and our 3rd most applied at about 1,300 applications. So I think the sticker is actually pretty good on paper. You know, it has a lot of intrinsic application demand just because it is
a negative sign, a cancel sign, so you can be creative with the sticker, which I think is a good buying sign for when stickers can be used creatively pretty easily. I do think it's priced a little highly at $3.50, but the sticker's actually doing pretty well on paper, so this might be one to look into investing going into the future if it goes down in price, maybe. Alright, and number 2, guys, is Ain't a Rental Foil. As you can pretty clearly see, this is a 1x Craft sticker. It is actually first in our 1x Crafts, which is pretty considerable for the pink category, and then low on everything else. It has an average applications per weapon at 1.31, which is second to last. Our magic ratio is 6.905, and this has a pretty positive difference because it is the cheapest and the second most applied. As a +4 difference. It's the cheapest at $1.29 and the second most applied at almost 1,400 applications. So, interesting sticker. Apparently people are enjoying this as a 1x Craft. This might be a sleeper pick if people keep applying it at a 1x times. Yeah, kind of a sleeper pick based on this data that I collected. So maybe take a look at the Ain't a Rental Foil for one of your investments going forward. Alright, and coming in at number 1 is the Good as New Foil, and unfortunately it's number 1 for all the wrong reasons, but you cannot deny the popularity that this sticker has. As you can see, it is dominating almost every single category in the pink category by a lot. So it's number 1 in everything but the 1x Crafts, and even for the 1x Crafts, it's number 2 and only by a little bit. Its average applications per weapon is a staggering 2.31. This is probably the highest I've ever seen for any sticker that I've analyzed so far, even rivaling the Chinggis Warrior foils from Austin. This has a magic ratio of 16.044. No difference, it's the most expensive and most applied, so at $6.10 and about 2,800 applications. Guys, it's pretty obvious why this is being used. CS players demand obscenity and crazy stuff, so if you see any of these with a 5x, with 4 of them being worn down and 1 of them not being worn down, you can already know what it's going to be. So, this is the best ammunition that CS players have for making a salacious image of history, and it will probably continue to be the best one that they have. Seeing as Valve is probably going to get a little bit of flack for having this in the game. Obviously, it's not what they intended, but just, So yeah, this is going to be an inflammatory sticker for as long as it's in the game, and I think you could invest into that and maybe make some good returns off of people making silly crafts. So that's all I have to say about that. Alright, and moving on to the lenticular stickers. We only have 3, and they all kind of line up well with each other, but surprisingly we actually have the BullHit, the most expensive sticker, in the last position. It's third at everything. It has a very bad average application per weapon of 1.16, so not good. Magic ratio of 105.451, and it's a -2 difference because it is the most expensive and it is the least applied. This is the coolest sticker on paper out of all the 3, but it is definitely the least applied, so it's not supported by application demand. It's probably more just people thinking it's a cool sticker on paper, literally. No one is applying this, so I would probably be hesitant to invest in the BullHit sticker because of its application demand. And in second place for the lenticulars is the Digi-Strike. Second place all the way through the entire way, a pretty bad average applications per weapon at 1.24, but it places it in second. A 34.125 magic ratio, and this is a +1 difference because it is the cheapest, red at $6.69, and it is the second most applied at $575. Again, guys, no one is really applying these stickers. They are just either very rare or there's just not a whole lot of application demand, and I'm going to favor towards the latter, of there just not being many people that want to apply these on their stickers more than once. As you can see, the average applications per weapons for all of these red stickers is just favoring the 1. If you invest in these stickers, you're probably going to be waiting a long time for supply to be eaten up, for return to be found. But we'll see as time goes on. And finishing out the red stickers is the Neon MVP. It is first place in everything. It has a much healthier average application per weapon at 1.41. A magic ratio of 30.71, and a difference of +1 because it is the second most expensive lenticular at $6.90, and it is the most applied at about 660, which is about 100 applications more than the previous sticker. So again, this one might be one to look into if you're interested in investing into lenticular stickers, but not too many people are interested in applying multiple of these onto their skins. So I would tread with caution or just not throw too much capital into these red stickers, but they might do well over time if this continues to be a very unpopular sticker collection. Alright, and as we wrap up the video, guys, we can take a look at some metadata, taking a look at all the broad application information that I collected. So taking a look at our actual applications, we can see that we have a total of only 92,866 blues applied, 36,427 purples, 8,300 pinks, and just shy of 1,500 reds, for a total actual application number of about 139,000. Very few stickers. I mean, compared to many of the other collections I've covered, this is pretty weak. And as you can see, there is a big discrepancy between the blue percentage and the purple percentage. So I definitely think the blues are underperforming in this collection compared to the rest. There's not really too many outliers in the blues that would warrant any pay, really. Like, you don't make profit on any of the blues, so not many people are redeeming them right now. So again, you can take a look at the pink and purple ratios and see that they are pretty high compared to the blues. So again, I think the blues are underperforming, but really all the stickers are underperforming. And moving on, guys, I went ahead and calculated the highest provable bottom line estimate based on the most applied sticker and most listed sticker for its rarity, which was the Froggles Holo in the purple category. And I just did the math outward, and we can see that we got a total of 841,000 bottom line blues, 168 bottom line purples, 33,000 bottom line pinks, and about 6,700 bottom line reds, for a total bottom line estimate of about 1.05 million. So that's all well and dandy, really, but you can see that there's a big difference between how many stickers actually exist and how many stickers provably have to exist. So there is still a lot of supply that's just sitting out there. People are just not applying. They're just not interested in really applying these. That's why a lot of these stickers are so dang cheap. I'd be wary of this collection, but again, low popularity collections like to be removed. Valve likes to make money, and if this collection is not making them a whole lot of money, it might be apt to be removed. So probably, my guess is next October. So take that with a grain of salt, that the supply is probably going to be a lot higher by the next October. And I'll leave this information up on the screen as I complete the outro, guys. Thank you so much for making it this far into the video. If you watched all the way, please let me know. Let me know what you think of this new visual style. If it's a little too long-winded, if I need to condense it at all, I'll try my best. I really like giving my input per sticker, but yeah, it does make for very long videos. I thank you guys so much for the continued support. I will be starting my new pretty intensive full-time job, 12-hour shift kind of job thing, so that'll be starting probably December 1st, so it might be a little difficult for me to put out videos as frequently as I was last month, but I'll definitely keep trying. This is data that I can do pretty passively and pretty easily. Guys, if you use any of this application information, thank you so much, and I hope you the best in all of your investments. Thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a blessed day. Thank you so much.